The Broncos are back. The voice is back. So as we like to say here at Chat Sports, buckle up because we're going to show you guys a way Denver can sneak into the playoffs and not some unrealistic, undefeated, everyone else loses out. In fact, I've got a path for the Broncos to get in with even losing a game. And you need a little help, no doubt about it. You're kind of further down in the pecking order. As we get the playoff picture up and in front of you, you guys can see where Denver currently ranks right now. They're in the others category. They are 7-6 behind Cleveland, behind Cincinnati, and they've got some huge games coming up in terms of tie-breaking implications with Cincinnati. They've already lost to Cleveland, but they can get some ground back up or take some ground even more on the Chargers. So let me ask this question to you guys right off the bat. Will the Broncos make the playoffs? Plain and simple. Y for yes, N for no. I've asked this question before, but things change because right now, for example, the NFL is going through some really tough COVID issues. Luckily, the Broncos had no positive tests today per my Twitter feed like 10 minutes ago. So Denver right now kind of has a leg up on some other teams like the Browns and the Ravens who have been going through some tough COVID and injury-related issues. So let me know what you're thinking down below. In order for Denver to reach the playoffs, I think it's 10 wins minimum. 9-8 is probably going to get you in the NFC, but not in the AFC. So absolutely, you have to win 10 games. More likely 11. 11 absolutely gets you in, but 10, I think, can give you a opportunity, a seat at the table. Now, if you look at the upcoming 4 games for Broncos, 3 out of those 4 are against teams with above 500 records. You combine all their records, and they are 33-22. It is some tough sledding coming up here. They take on the Bengals. That's a Bengals team. You just don't know what to expect out of them. The Raiders are bad. The Chargers are kind of a seesaw up and down. I think the Chargers are better than people or their record gives them credit for. And then the Chiefs. And that's going to be a tough game at the end of the season. KC's kind of playing their best football right now. You wish you played KC from like weeks 3 to 7, but unfortunately you get them when they're hot. Here's how the AFC currently stacks up right now. The Broncos in that 3rd spot, but they can slingshot themselves ahead of the Chargers, Ricky Bobby style, and try and get themselves ahead of LA because they already got one game in hand over the Chargers, and they got one more coming up at the great Chargers home field advantage. We know so many Chargers fans come out to see that. And speaking of the AFC West, who do you hate the most? Plain and simple. Is it the Chefs? Is it the Faders? Is it the team with like 20 fans in the Chargers? Honestly, I think there's more MLS fans than Chargers fans in LA, and I don't think there's any MLS fans at all. So let me know what you're thinking down below. I'll make this the pinned comment, so scroll on down. If a YouTube ad break hits you right now, reply with who you hate, despise, whatever the word is, the most down below. Going into this game, there's a lot of things, or going into these playoff pushes, there's a lot of things you got to look out for. It's not just the Broncos. There's a lot of other teams you got to watch. So here are 5 teams to root against just across the board. The Chargers, they are ahead of them in the division. They are in the wild card mix. No thank you. The Colts, they are right there as well in that playoff, in that wild card race, along with the Bills. The Browns is an interesting one because the Cleveland Browns have the tiebreaker over the Broncos from that Week 7 Thursday night showdown. And then the Bengals, who this upcoming Sunday's game will decide who's got the tiebreaker. So absolutely root against all 5 of these teams going forward. But the tiebreakers, I don't think Denver's got a shot at winning the division, plain and simple. And with that said, it's going to come down to tiebreakers for the wild card spot. That's the Browns and the Bengals. They already lost the tiebreaker to the Browns, so a win against Cincinnati kind of feels like 2 wins, honestly. And then you got the Chargers. Now, the way it works when you have a divisional matchup, it is head-to-head if you sweep them 2-0. If it's 1-1, then you go down a bit of a rabbit hole of common opponents and record within the division. So it's really important for the Broncos. Not only if you beat the Chargers, that's great, then you take care of that regard. But if you lose, then it comes down to some other stuff. Broncos fans, if you want Denver to make the playoffs, subscribe right now because here's the deal. Denver needs all the help they can get, and that's coming from YouTube guys. So you don't want any bad mojo out there, universe. Just hit one simple little red button. And if Denver catches fire, I'm not going to say it's because of us. I would never put that on us. But at least you have a clear conscience that you at least did your tiny part to help the Broncos make a playoff push. Let's go team by team right now. Of those 5 teams, their schedule and what I think is going to happen. 4 games left for the Chargers. They got the Chiefs this Thursday night. That's a huge matchup. This is weird to say, but be pulling for the Chiefs. Let the Chiefs run away with the division, and that way the Broncos and the Chargers can duke it out for the second spot. Chargers play the Texans, should be a win, but any given Sunday. Then the Broncos, then the Raiders. Of those 4 games, I think the Chargers will go about 2-2. We need them to go 2-2. I think the Chargers had a good shot at beating the Chiefs, actually, at home on Thursday night. They did it once at Arrowhead. Why not sweep the Chiefs? They want to win the division. But realistically, 2-2 is in the cards. A win against the Texans, a win against the Raiders, and then the Broncos got to find a way to beat LA at their place. So we'll pencil them in at 2-2. On to the next team, the Colts here. Big games coming up for the Colts in the next 2 weeks. They got the Patriots this Saturday. Got some Saturday football with college football, taking a couple weeks off. Then the Cardinals, also another Saturday matchup. Then bad teams against the Raiders and the Jags. I think the Colts go 3-1 in this stretch. Maybe they beat the Patriots and lose to the Cardinals or vice versa. But overall, the way the schedule looks for Indy and the way they are playing, I've got them going 3-1. You can move that loss around. Like I said, any given Sunday, you just never know. We got a great deal going on over at Fanatics, and this I do know. Get yourself or a loved one this awesome Broncos hoodie by Christmas. It's $70 right now. I've already put off holiday shopping way further than I should. Don't be in my club. Please be in a better club. Be in a club that's already got your mom, your dad, your siblings, whoever it may be, a Christmas present. Do it at chatsports.com/Broncos hoodie. The link's at the bottom of your screen. I got it tossed in the comments and the description of this video. Get this sweet hoodie because you don't want to put off holiday shopping any more than we already have. On to the next schedule, the Bills schedule. The Bills have been bad lately, right? Flat out. They've played tough teams. They had the Patriots and the Bucks back-to-back weeks, and they kind of kept it close, but they need to start winning if they want to make the playoffs. And I've got the Bills realistically going 3-1. The Panthers should be an easy win. Patriots at New England, it's tough to wrap your head around it, but maybe Buffalo revenge game. There's no way Atlanta comes to Buffalo in December or January at that point and beats the Bills. And then the Jets, bad team right there. So maybe they beat the Patriots but get upsetted somewhere else. Overall, 3-1 realistically sounds about right for the Buffaloes given that weak schedule they have coming up. Next team on tap, it is the Browns. The Cleveland Browns got hit hard with COVID today. A handful of starters are out for them. And on a short week playing against the Raiders at home, that does not help. And it doesn't help that after that, they followed up with a game at Lambeau against the Packers, then a unpredictable Steelers team, and then another unpredictable team in the Bengals. Realistically, the Browns could go 2-2 in this stretch. Maybe lose to the Raiders this Saturday with everything going on, all those players out, lose at Lambeau on Christmas, and then finish the season strong on a good note. You can move the wins and losses around a little bit, but 2-2 in that stretch is very much in the cards for the Cleveland Browns. Guys, on my last video, what I did was I asked you all to comment just a random Broncos player, and you guys showed out. So let's play that game again, but this time with a very underappreciated Broncos player. Honestly, someone kind of like Tim Patrick. I don't think the NFL gives the wide receiver out of Utah enough love. Broncos fans know how valuable he is and just that he has this knack for stepping up when other players aren't living up to their expectations. So let me know, an underappreciated Broncos player. Go back in the history books, however far you want, in the comment section below. On to the Bengals. This is the biggest game. This is a playoff game this upcoming Sunday from Mile High. I really do believe so. If the Broncos lose this game, I just don't see a way they can get in. And so if the Broncos are going to get in, you need the Bengals, I think, to go 1-3. And that's asking a lot because Cincinnati's not a 1-3 kind of team. They are better than that, but you never know, okay? You never know who's going to get hurt. You just don't know what to expect in the NFL. So a loss at Denver this Sunday, following up with a loss against a Ravens team that's just hungry for a win. Maybe they upset the Chiefs, or maybe they beat the Ravens, vice versa, and then they lose at Cleveland on the road. Browns beat the crap out of them last time these two teams met up. So 1-3 doesn't seem like it's a for sure thing, but it is somewhat realistic. So I'll buy into it if it means the Broncos can make the playoffs. So here's the current AFC playoff picture as it stands right now. After putting all those wins and losses in there, here is my projected playoff picture. Patriots at the top, 12-5, losing one more game. The Chiefs come roaring back. They end up as the second seed. Again, we're not going to root for the Chiefs, except that we need to root for the Chiefs to knock the Chargers out. Then you've got the Titans at the third seed. The Ravens come in at number 4, and then the wild card spots. I've got the Broncos sneaking in with the tiebreakers. It actually happens over at number 7, 10-7. You got the Colts at 6, and then you got the Bills at 5. And that is a projected, somewhat kind of realistic little fanboy playoff map for Denver to make the postseason. If the Broncos make the postseason, we're popping champagne. We're doing it over my Twitter account. So make sure you follow me at Matthew Petey, because I'm still kind of in the gray area on Denver making the postseason. But they handled the Lions, and this team has had some fight to them. We've seen it in the Cowboys matchup. We've seen it a couple times this season. It's about putting it together consistently. That's been their biggest issue. They look great one week, and then they fall flat on their face the next week. But who knows? Maybe Justin Simmons and this team can put it together down the stretch.